Hey, the Circle of Hope pastors are here, and now we have Julie with us. You see how the little boxes at the bottom? There's more now. I think it's pretty cool. Hello, Julie.
Hi, Johnny.
She's reporting from the Northwest. Anyway, of Philadelphia, not Oregon. She's not in Oregon. Just so you know, because we have a very national audience. Anyway, we're here. We're answering a question, and this question comes up for two reasons. One, Donald Trump was escalating into nuclear war last night, taunting the leader of North Korea with how big his nuclear weapons were. So that was one thing. And then for me, too, just thinking about war and how to talk about it with our kids. The question is, how do you talk to your children about war and the threat of war? And I'm here to listen because my kids are so young that I really need to learn how to do this.
Well, maybe we should go in age of children order. So I'm next.
Okay, go ahead.
My kids are 7 and 4, and it's kind of like a matter-of-fact thing in our household that we're just kind of creating this culture of peacemakers. We're peacemakers. We don't like war. We don't like guns. So like when you get a gun toy, you might get to play with it for a day, but it's gone. Like the kids did get some army men from from my father-in-law, and they got to play with them that day, and then they're gone because these weapons of war that are in plastic form are representations and glorifications of the real thing, which kill lots and lots of people. And I tell them that these aren't toys; they're horrible machines, and we don't want to celebrate them. So that's one tiny thing, is the toy thing, and trying to create that culture for them.
What's up next? Next age is Julie's.
Yeah.
Right? That's it.
Well, I was thinking about play too, Ben, that I try to use like a tangible example from their life together, the way they treat each other. Because they get that when they've been wronged, just being bigger and stronger and more violent to each other doesn't resolve the problem. It doesn't end the trouble. It actually just makes more and keeps it going. So we try to practice a pretty involved process of forgiveness, so that they can actually feel better and have a better relationship. But it takes some work to go through naming what I'm sorry for. It was wrong because next time I will, and that's like a positive statement. Next time I will do this instead. It's not next time I just won't do what I just did to you. And then will you forgive me? And going through that together actually helps them take some responsibility for themselves and be able to forgive the other person because they feel known and heard and understood.
Your kids should teach Trump how to tweet. To be honest. All right, Rachel, you're the next age group.
Yeah, I was really determined from the beginning to not hide the truth about war from my kids. I thought it would help them more to know the devastation that war causes. And so I talked about the myth of redemptive violence that I grew up with. And I made them read Howard Zinn as soon as they could read. I wanted them to know the history.
As soon as they could read?
As soon as they could read. It was
that was their summer project.
Zeus and Zinn.
And because I wanted them to know what really happens in the world. I don't think it's helpful for kids to think that weapons actually protect people. So I told them the truth.
How about you, Joshua?
Well, I got the kid that's about to turn 17 and a 13-year-old in the, growing along. And
Man, you're old, dude.
Yeah. Actually, people, when I tell them that, they usually say, "That's impossible. You're so young."
Not me.
we started big, like just with God and harmony. Like this is how we're designed for community. We're designed to live together and flourish. And we talk about systems, because there's so many things that we get caught up in, habits or attitudes that are largely, I think, impacted by systems. And of course, our attitudes impact systems. But I wanted them to understand that the first things they learned about the United States tax system, tax codes, was that a large percentage of that goes to defense spending and what defense spending is. I got to go when they were a little bit younger to Iraq, or even parts of Southern Africa, or we had the opportunity to go to Colombia together as a family, and firsthand accounts of this is what U.S. foreign policy looks like. This is what the casualties of war really look like, has always been present with them. And they got to even, experience some stories firsthand, like their aunt, who's Colombian, was abducted by a rebel group when she was a teenager and escaped. So like they're conscious of the what is out there and what is normal. So any of our activities is forming an alternative peacemaking community with the church and with Jesus. They understand that that's going against the flow.
So this is really helpful to me, and I thank you for sharing. People are talking about the culture of the household, basic applications for peacemaking, literature, and honesty about what's actually happening in the world, and ways to express that, systems of violence that corrupt our world. My oldest was surprised that something such as a gun even existed, that someone would have something that could kill someone else. This was very surprising to her. And of course, she was afraid that it would hurt her. And so one of the things that we taught her was, first of all, what to do upon seeing one. But the other idea is that Jesus has defeated death. And so we can be free to be nonviolent because death is not an enemy, and death as an enemy has been defeated. And so because they're little brown kids who might get extra attention from a law enforcement or airport security or people that send people to Guantanamo, the threats of war are actually a reality that they may need to face, but their faith in Jesus helps them to endure nonviolently through whatever suffering may come. I'm stimulated by the geopolitical implications of that, but if I can just keep it at a personal level, and a spiritual level for them to express what I think the gospel of the Prince of Peace is, I think we're getting somewhere. So thanks for the inspiration.
Can I make a quick plug for a book? In 2006, Whiffenstock republished the 1968 classic by James Douglas, The Nonviolent Cross, A Theology of Revolution and Peace. And this is going to be too thick probably for a lot of kids, but for parents, it breaks down a lot of the really important things that we're talking about in really good theological terms that are easy to understand and communicate.
Great. Well, I hope this was helpful to you. If you did find it helpful, share it with other parents and other people who might find it useful. Subscribe to our channel, like this on Facebook or on YouTube, or retweet it. Send it to Donald Trump. See you next time.